Panchayat Pebble vote. Leela lived in Sonapani, a village tucked into the green folds of the Himachal Mountains. From her window, she could see snowy peaks that looked like scoops of vanilla ice cream. Sonapani was nearly perfect. It had a gurgling stream, fields of smiling sunflowers, and the best aloo parathas in the world. But it had one hot, grumpy problem: the path to school. It was a long, dusty ribbon with no trees. Every afternoon, the sun would beat down on it, making the stones too hot to touch. One sweltering afternoon, Leela saw her little brother, Rohan, stumbling on his way home. His cheeks were as red as ripe apples, and he looked dizzy. She ran to him, unscrewing her water bottle. "Here, drink this," she said, her voice full of concern. After helping Rohan home and making sure he drank plenty of cool water, Leela couldn't stop thinking about the path. She sat on the steps of her house, watching the evening shadows stretch. Her gaze fell on the giant banyan tree in the village square. Its huge branches created a cool, dark circle of shade where elders snoozed and children played hide and seek. It was like a big, green umbrella for the whole village. Why couldn't the school path have an umbrella like that? An idea sparked in her mind, bright and sudden. It wasn't an umbrella they needed. It was trees. "That's it," she whispered to a passing lizard. "We need to plant trees." The next morning, Leela marched to the Panchayat courtyard, the place where big village decisions were made. She was looking for the wisest person she knew, Sarpanch Auntie, the head of the village council. She found her sitting on a colorful mat, listening patiently as a farmer explained a problem with his irrigation ditch. Leela stood quietly to the side, remembering her mother's advice. To be heard, you must first learn to listen. She waited without wiggling, even when a butterfly landed on her nose. When the farmer finished and Sarpanch Auntie looked her way, Leela stepped forward, took a deep breath, and explained the problem of the hot, grumpy path and the dizzy little children. Sarpanch Auntie listened, her eyes thoughtful. When Leela finished, she smiled. "An excellent idea, Leela. But an idea needs a plan to grow, just like a seed needs good soil and water." She didn't give Leela the answers. Instead, she gave her questions. Where exactly should we plant the trees so they give the most shade? What kind of trees grow best here? And the most important question of all, who will care for the saplings after they are planted? Fired up, Leela found her best friend, Chaya. Together, they spent the whole afternoon pacing the path, drawing a map on a big sheet of paper, and making a simple, neat plan with answers to all of Sarpanch Auntie's questions. With her map and plan ready, Leela went back to Sarpanch Auntie, who helped her prepare a 1-minute request for the big Gram Sabha meeting on Sunday. "Speak clearly from your heart," Sarpanch Auntie advised. "State the problem, your solution, and your plan. And remember to listen to what others have to say." Leela practiced her speech over and over. She practiced it for her mother while she chopped vegetables. She practiced it for her father while he mended a fishing net. She even practiced it for her family's goat, Basanti, who just blinked her yellow eyes and chewed thoughtfully on a marigold flower. On Sunday, the Panchayat courtyard buzzed with the chatter of the whole village. When Sarpanch Auntie called her name, Leela's knees felt like wobbly jelly. She walked to the center of the gathering, her heart thumping like a drum. Her voice shook a little at first, but then she looked at the faces of her friends and neighbors and remembered why she was there. She explained how the sun made the little children dizzy. Then she unrolled her map. "My friends and I have a plan," she said, her voice growing stronger. "We will plant 5 gulmohar saplings along the path, and we promise to water them every single day until they are strong." Many people in the crowd nodded in approval. Leela's idea was a good one. But then Girish Kaka, one of the oldest and most respected men in the village, slowly stood up. He had a kind face, crinkled with wrinkles like a dried apricot. "A noble idea, little one," he said, his voice raspy like dry leaves. "But we must think ahead. Tree roots are powerful. They will grow under the path, and over the years they will push up the stones and break the path apart. A broken path is a dangerous path." A murmur of agreement spread through the crowd. Leela's shoulders slumped. She hadn't thought of that. Leela's heart felt as heavy as one of the path's hot stones. Her wonderful plan was ruined. She stared at the ground, at the edge of a low brick wall that bordered the courtyard. She saw how some of the bricks were loose, sticking out from the dirt. And then another idea sparked, even brighter than the first. She looked up, her eyes shining. "Girish Kaka," she said, her voice clear and excited. "You are right. But what if we protect the path? When we dig the holes for the saplings, we can line the side closest to the path with old bricks, standing up straight and tall. The roots will hit the bricks and grow the other way, down deep into the earth, not sideways under the stones." A hush fell over the crowd. Then Girish Kaka's face broke into a wide grin. "Brilliant," he boomed. Sarpanch Auntie beamed with pride. "Leela, you have listened to a concern and found a respectful solution. Now, it is time for the village to decide." She brought out a large clay pot and a basket filled with smooth gray river pebbles. "All those in favor of Leela's plan for trees with brick root guards, please come and place a pebble in the pot." One by one, the villagers walked up. The clink, clink, clink of the pebbles dropping into the pot was the most beautiful music Leela had ever heard. Even Girish Kaka dropped a pebble in with a wink. The following Sunday was a festival of digging and planting. The whole village came to help. They dug 5 perfect holes, lined them carefully with old bricks, and gently placed the young gulmohar saplings inside. Leela's class got a special job. On a smooth piece of wood, they painted a colorful sign: "Speak, listen, decide." They hung it from a low branch of the very first sapling. As Leela poured the first bucket of water onto the thirsty roots of her tree, she smiled. The path wouldn't be grumpy for much longer. It would be a path of shade, and a path that remembered how a small girl with a big idea could help her whole village grow.